Last year, the Tecno Spark 10 Pro was no match to the Redmi Note 12 in major aspects like performance and cameras. But this year, with the Tecno Spark 20 Pro, Tecno Mobile made some huge improvements in an attempt to close that gap. So like the title of this video says, how close is the gap between these two phones? With just a little over 200,000 Naira, you can get any of these two phones. For the Tecno Spark 20 Pro, you would be getting the phone itself with 8 gigs of extended memory and 256 gigs of internal storage space. While for the Redmi Note 13, you'll be getting the phone itself with 6 gigs of extended memory and 128 gigs of internal storage space. So when it comes to what you get straight out of the box, the Tecno Spark 20 Pro takes the lead. But early lead isn't always the best option, so let's dig deeper into the design. Now, most times when it comes to design, I always feel it's subjective. And that's because most phones look so much alike nowadays. But when you look at these two phones, I'm sure you agree with me that the Redmi Note 13 has a better and distinctive look. The Tecno Spark 20 Pro, on the other hand, just looks so generic and common. Like, aren't you tired of this design already? Because for me, I am. But they both feel really premium and cool when you hold these two phones up close together. So really, if I'm to judge the design of these two phones, I will easily get tired of the Tecno Spark 20 Pro. So the Redmi Note 13 is the obvious winner. Now let's talk about the display of both phones to see if there are any gaps. The Redmi Note 13 comes with a 6.64 inches AMOLED display, while the Tecno Spark 20 Pro comes with a 6.74 inches IPS LCD display. They both have the same 1080 by 2400 pixel resolution and a refresh rate that maxes out at about 120 Hz. So when scrolling or switching between applications on both phones, you can actually see and feel the fluidity and smoothness. But let's see where the differences between the screens of these two phones actually are. First, AMOLED displays are generally better than LCDs because they gives you this better video quality in terms of wider color range, deeper blacks, higher brightness, and better contrast ratio. And most importantly, they consume way lesser energy, about 20% less energy when you compare it to LCD screens. So that means if I'm doing the same thing or performing the same task with these two phones, I'm going to run out of battery with the Tecno Spark 20 Pro and still have about 20% battery capacity with the Redmi Note 13. Honestly, that's a huge gap. And also, when it comes to usage outdoors, the 1800 nits of peak brightness that the Redmi Note 13 has makes it a better display when you compare it to the 1000 nits of peak brightness that you get with the Tecno Spark 20 Pro. But that is not all. The screen of the Redmi Note 13 also comes with a Corning Gorilla Glass 3 protection from scratches and dents. And once again, you don't get that luxury with the screen of the Tecno Spark 20 Pro. So with all the evidence on ground, the gap between the display of these two phones is obviously huge, with the Redmi Note 13 being the better option once again. But then, let's assume that what matters to you the most is performance. Like, you want all your 200k to go into the phone with a better chipset. Well, it comes down to which performed better between the Snapdragon 685 in the Redmi Note 13 and the Helio G99 in the Tecno Spark 20 Pro. Now, looking at the nano review comparison of these two processors, you would see that the Helio G99 is obviously the better performer. It has higher GPU and CPU rating. Even when I check the Geekbench single and multi-core scores, the Helio G99 in the Tecno Spark 20 Pro also came out better. But at times, the truth is that figures or numbers do not reflect the true story. So let's put these two phones through some real everyday tests. Firstly, I wanted to know which would render a 4K video faster using the CapCut app. And as you can see right now, the Tecno Spark 20 Pro was way faster. Secondly, what I also tried was to know which of them will export this video after I finished editing them in the CapCut app. And once again, as you can see, the Tecno Spark 20 Pro did it faster. So the result of both tests proved that the Tecno Spark 20 Pro is the obvious winner. It's a better performer than the Redmi Note 13. And that's huge for me because when it comes to choosing one phone over the other, the most important specification or aspect that most times like 70 or 80% determines which one I would choose or pick is the chipset and performance level. And honestly, in this case, the Tecno Spark 20 Pro is the winner. The second most important thing I look out for has to be the cameras. They both have a 108 megapixel primary lens along with a macro and depth sensors. Now here are some image quality tests of the primary cameras of both phones. Which one do you think does better in terms of image processing and quality? Personally, I don't see much difference in terms of quality, but when it comes to the processing, the feel and tone is quite different. In portrait mode, I found both pictures very pleasing. Object separation is good, but I think I prefer the tone and feel of the Tecno Spark 20 Pro. And then also, I carried out a zoom test and discovered that in the 108 megapixel mode, the Tecno Spark 20 Pro can zoom up to 10 times. While for the Redmi Note 13, in same 108 megapixel mode, all you get is up to 3 times. Then of course, in low lighting mode, the Redmi Note 13 came out brighter, but not necessarily better. For videos, the Tecno Spark 20 Pro is better in the sense that you can shoot at 2K 30 FPS, while 1080p at 30 FPS is what you get highest for the Redmi Note 13. This is how their videos compare. Which is better? Let me have your thoughts in the comment section. Now switching to the front cameras, the Tecno Spark 20 Pro has a 32 megapixel sensor, while the Redmi Note 13 comes with a 16 megapixel sensor. The surface looks quite decent, but you get more natural skin colors with the Tecno Spark 20 Pro. The Redmi Note 13 selfies looks too vivid. In portrait mode, however, I think I prefer the Redmi pictures over those taken by the Tecno Spark 20 Pro. Now, both front cameras can shoot videos at maximum 1080p resolution at 30 fps. No form of stability at all. So what is the verdict? There is no much gap between the cameras of these two phones, except for the 2K video quality you get with the Tecno Spark 20 Pro camera. Would that be enough to make you choose the Spark 20 Pro over the Redmi Note 13? Well, that's for you to answer. So in summary, if what you want is a phone with a better design, display and good cameras, then the Redmi Note 13 is your best option. But if on the other hand, if what you want is a better performance and slightly better cameras when it comes to making videos, then the Tecno Spark 20 Pro is your best option. So there you have it. Thanks so much for watching. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel and also like this video for more people to see. I'll see you again in my next video.